What's up, everyone? We are live at 5 here at Broadway.com. It is Wednesday, December 12th. How many shopping days left? A few. I'm Paul Ontork.
I'm Beth Stevens.
And over there is Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And Beth, we have some royalty here. We have Rockettes. Rockettes in the house.
I am so excited. I get a little giddy around the Rockettes.
Do you feel underdressed?
Now I do. Now I do. Now I do. But
Where are your sequins?
I'm leaving it to them. They're the professionals.
So we have Brittany Werthmann and Joanna Richardson. They are real Rockettes, real live
Yay.
Rockettes. So if you have any questions
exciting.
for the Rockettes, put them in the comments, and we'll get to all your questions. But first, today's top 5.
And oh, what a beautiful morn it's gonna be.
All right.
That's a lyric reference.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Oklahoma.
We have Oklahoma coming back to Broadway. This is not your mother's Oklahoma. This is really different. This will be at Circle in the Square. Daniel Fish's production, which was at in Brooklyn at St. Anne's Warehouse and got rave reviews. Coming.
Very experimental.
Yes, this is very different than your usual Oklahoma. I'll tell you why. First of all, Previews begin on March 19th, opens on April 7th at the Circle in the Square, as I said. It will play a limited run through September 1st. Now, 7-piece band. That's not what we're used to. And they serve chili to the audience.
Yeah, Mary Testa makes
at
cornbread
intermission.
and chili. She's on Eller. She makes it during the show.
They have not.
The Jiffy, the Jiffy box of cornbread, the beginning scene, she's like, I'm going to make some cornbread. Then they bring it out. It's fun.
I'm sure that the production is just as good as the chili, if not better. They have not announced the Broadway cast.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just
But
spoiled it. I think Mary Testa will
The
be
Brooklyn cast included Mary Testa, Ali Stroker, Damon Dono, Rebecca
Yes.
Naomi Jones, Patrick Vale.
in it. He plays, too. So it's very...
It's different.
It's different.
And I'm really excited. And also, we don't have that many revivals. So
No,
that's
now
another
we have
entry.
a Tony race.
Yeah, now we
There's
do.
a Tony race now.
Exciting.
And a part of the human heart is moving on.
So we did not see this coming.
No.
No. So Once on This Island is a show that we love. We talk about it all the time.
As much as
It was our
possible.
favorite show of last year. It is closing.
That's
We
not
already
the
got,
news.
but we got
That's
over
not
that.
the
Like,
news.
I mean, it's still sad. It's horrible. But it's closing January 6th. But what's new, so Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child
Fame, yes.
fame joined the cast as Arzuli 2 weeks ago. And she's out. She's leaving on the 26th. And I guess it's doctor's orders. I guess she's been having she's
issues.
missed some shows, I know. But Lea Salonga is coming back.
Who was in
Original
the
cast
original
member.
cast.
She's coming back for the final 2 weeks of the run. She comes back December 27th, and she'll be there until the final performance, which is super exciting. So it's going to be good to have you back.
And the
Lea.
understudy, Cassandra James, will be doing it,
Oh,
doing
she's
it in the
fantastic,
interim.
too.
And I just saw her, and
Oh.
she's a wonderful performer.
Oh,
So
Beth
you're-
just saw it again.
I
and you took your
cried
daughter,
my
right?
eyes out. My daughter loved
And
it
she
too.
saw it before too?
No.
Oh, did she like it?
She loved it. She's 8.
Did
and
she like
loved
the
it.
animals?
She really liked the animals.
Say what she said about the water.
Is the water real? It's real. It's right there. She didn't love the kissing because she's 8.
Oh.
Kissing.
The
But
teenage crowds loved kissing. There's hooting and hollering when I went to see it. It's very romantic.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a good show. Go see it. It's closing.
And we have even more time to visit the newsroom.
Network, fabulous production of Network, is extending. This is
Woohoo.
Bryan Cranston, Tatiana Maslany, Tony Goldwyn, and many others in this cast. It was originally slated to run through March 17th. Now it will run through April 28th at the Belasco Theater, but who knows? Maybe they'll extend
It's gonna
again.
run later,
You
'cause a week
never
later they're gonna
know.
get 20 nominations.
That could happen. Anyway, you have more time. This is directed by Ivo Van Hove. Very multimedia. Breaks the fourth wall. Exciting. A little tense.
You had a very
little
exciting
stressful.
seat. We sat next to each other, and Beth was like in the middle of the action. The second
was.
row, there was a lot of action right around her.
I feel like Bryan Cranston and I touched knees at one point. It was fun.
And congratulations are in order for one of our favorite stage couples.
Oh,
I love them.
Rob McClure, former Broadway.com blogger,
Don't ask me.
former everything. We love him. Oh, the name.
Yeah, I don't know.
We love Rob McClure. He and his wife Maggie had a baby. We knew this was coming, but
Well,
it actually
sure,
happened.
'cause, it's
December
not a surprise
9th
when this happened.
At 9:16 a.m. I love this. They met doing, they were Duty and Frenchie in Greece in New Jersey. in 2005. How adorable. They married in 2009. He, of course, was a Tony nominee for Chaplin. He should have won for that. He was also in Honeymoon in Vegas, Avenue Q, Something Rotten. They just finished the Something Rotten tour together. They were on the road together. He's coming back to he's expected, I guess it's not announced yet, he's expected to be in Beetlejuice, which he just did in Washington, D.C., which is coming back to Broadway next year, and we love them, and now they're parents, so congratulations.
But what's the baby's name?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sadie
Give
James.
us the intro. Yeah, there you go.
Sadie James.
Sadie James McClure. Welcome to the world.
Aw.
Is she watching?
I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
And this living legend has another life story coming out.
You know what, you guys? Do you follow Cher on Twitter? If you don't follow Cher on Twitter, you have to follow Cher on Twitter. You get lots of information, lots of attitude, lots of emojis, and she announced that she's writing her life story.
What an idea to do something about the story of Cher's life.
I wonder how she got inspired to do this. Hard to say. She tweeted.
It's also a musical.
It's also a musical. There's a musical. It's called The Cher Show. It's at the Neil Simon Theater. Check it out. She wrote, writing life story. Book due out first part of 2020. Biopic to follow. So I'm assuming that the ladies in The Cher Show will play Cher in the movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to know more about Cher, she has a lot to tell. She's got a long story. She's been in show business for a long time.
This is exciting. I'm into it.
She's a living legend. She's a living legend. She just tweeted a picture of her mother. Follow Cher on Twitter. You'll get a lot of information.
But go see The Cher Show.
Also, go see The Cher Show.
People are really loving it. People in our office really love it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a thing. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
It's so good for you to stop by, but we have Rockettes here, and we have to talk to them. So, hey, Caitlin.
Yes.
Tell us more about our special guests.
Gladly. So, guys, we have Brittany Werthmann and Joanna Richardson in the studio with us today. They are members of the acclaimed and celebrated Radio City Rockettes. Brittany has been with the Rockettes since 2012, and Joanna is in her 13th year. That's crazy. It's wild. The Rockettes have been high-kicking since the 1920s and have since become American icons that we all know and love dearly. They've been doing the Christmas Spectacular since 1933. I did my research. Follow the Radio City Rockettes on social media at Rockettes, so you can stay up to date on their amazing lives and all the kicking they do. And please leave all of your questions in the comments below. Please welcome Joanna, Brittany, and Paul.
Hey, guys.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Good.
I love how sparkly you are.
It's Christmas.
It
It is Christmas.
You're almost like people in the Cher Show. You're used to being in the sparkles.
Of course.
I mean, it's like everything, every day is like a day for sparkles.
We're athletes in diamonds. That's what I like to say.
I went to your opening night performance of the Radio City Christmas Spectacular featuring the Rockettes. Do I have the title right? It's like I like to say it correctly. How's it going? It was fantastic. I haven't seen the show in years, and it is so. It took me right back. It took me back to like being a kid, and my parents took me every year. And everyone needs to see it. If you haven't seen this show,
We're
it's
so
really
glad you got to see it.
Absolutely.
yes,
Yeah.
of course.
I mean, this year is so exciting. We have a brand new finale number that incorporates 100 drones. It's never been done
Drones.
in live theater before.
It was
but
crazy.
It's so cool that like the Wooden Soldiers number and the Living Nativity has been the same since 1933, but now we're incorporating some new technology into the show, so it's kind of marrying both of those worlds.
Old school, new school.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
But the Rockettes will never be replaced with drones because, I mean, the Rockettes are the Rockettes.
I don't think drones can kick. That'd be weird.
So Joanna,
Yes.
what's the most exciting thing about being a Rockette? I mean, it's definitely one of those things where it's kind of like if when I talk to Broadway actresses and when they get to say, well, I'm in Wicked, they don't have to explain to people what it means to be Wicked.
Right.
Like, well, everybody knows what Wicked is. Everybody knows what a Rockette is, right? So it's
Yeah.
like it's like an
Absolutely.
institution.
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up watching the Rockettes perform on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade,
Yep.
and I finally got to see them live when I was in middle school, I think about. And before the first number was even over, I knew I needed to be up on that stage, so I continued to train. I took ballet, tap, jazz. Of course, worked on my flexibility for those eye high kicks that we do, over 300 per show, and just kept auditioning and kept training. And here I am, 13 years later, and it's such an honor and a privilege to not only get up on that stage and dance, but to work with such amazing women that I'm inspired by every day. It's an absolute honor.
Yeah, what's the sisterhood of the Rockettes like?
You know, it's so funny. I actually, when I became a Rockette, I was like, oh, all these women, of course it gets catty, but it really doesn't, because I spend more time at Radio City Music Hall during Christmas than I do with my own family. I mean, this is my family during Christmas, and it really is a true sisterhood, and these are my best friends, so, and it is family.
Yeah, absolutely. I've met some of my best friends, and I know I'll have friendships with them for the rest of my life.
So what is your life like? So I know that there are how many performances a day at Radio City?
So there'll be up to 6 shows a day at Radio City, 7 days a week.
Wow.
So there's a lot going on. Once we open, it's nonstop. This year we close on January 1st, and it's Christmas from the moment we start rehearsal all the way until the show closes. So it's high energy. There's a lot going on at the music hall.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, when I first saw the Radio City Rockettes, they make it look so easy, but we rehearse 6 days a week, 6 hours a day, 6 weeks prior to opening night. So it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it. But
I love that you know how many kicks you do every show.
we count
that's
them.
a known stat.
We count them down.
It's a cool little piece of trivia. 5, 4, 3. No, it's a good little piece of trivia. People like to know about those eye-high kicks.
Yeah.
So how young were each of you when you started dancing?
I was 3.5. My mom had a dance studio
I know,
in
I
Atlanta.
read that. Where was that?
From. It was in Decatur, Georgia. She still has her studio today. And for us, it was like we grew up in musical theater. That was always something she wanted myself and...
Did you do musicals?
I did,
Yeah. Like what? Tell us some musicals.
Some
Broadway
musicals.
musical fans.
I haven't done any Broadway shows. I don't have any of those
What
credits.
shows did you
But
do?
I did shows in Atlanta and in New Orleans. I've done some productions here in New York as well. I think my favorite one I've done is Chicago. It's Fosse, which is Rockette. That's what our choreography is based on as well. I think
love
that's
Fosse.
one reason I just connect being a Rockette is it's just so fun to dance and it feels good as a dancer. So I grew up in Atlanta, trained there at my mom's studio, and feel so honored that I can continue to dance and perform
So
as my
Brittany,
career.
tell me about this girl.
Oh my gosh, you did not. You did not. So, okay.
Found you on Instagram.
Wow, there's
Kids
that
are
post.
cute too.
Oh, my kids, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay,
Look
that,
at
so
her.
that's
She
a
was-
glamour shot.
Glamour shot, the
That
hair.
1995, Posh Princess. My mom put my hair up as high as she possibly could. So, I mean...
Did this girl want to be a Rockette?
This girl had the most confidence. Her hair was higher. Her confidence was even higher.
Where was
and
this?
This was in Dallas, Texas, of course.
yeah.
Hair, Texas
Yeah.
hair. So that totally threw me off guard. My hair's much more sleek now these days. But yeah, this girl, I started dancing when I was 3 years old, and I started training mostly in ballet, and I would go away for the summers to American Ballet Theater, their summer intensives and things. And then once I went to college, I kind of branched out more into more musical theater, more jazz. And then I fell in love with the choreography at Radio City because it is just precision and the technique. And these dancers are beautiful dancers, and they're just so well-versed in tap, jazz, and ballet. And I wanted to be a part of that. And because it can never be totally perfect. You're always striving for that perfection, so there's always something to work on. Yeah, but thank you for that photo.
Of course, I love it. There's so many different groups of performers in the show. I
Absolutely.
mean, they're the Rockettes, and then there's another dance ensemble, right? And then there's a singing ensemble.
Exactly,
And then
yes.
there's kids, and then there's Santa Claus, and there's animals. And
The whole family.
So many things going on. Yes,
And
so we
drones.
have and drones as well are part of the show this year and are performing on stage. Yes, so we have the Rockettes. There are 36 girls on stage at a time, and then 4 swings in the wing in case anything
oh,
happens.
wow.
heaven
Do things
forbid.
happen?
I mean, it is live theater.
Yeah.
Sometimes, unfortunately, girls will get hurt and have to step
Right.
out of the show, or you get sick. But the swings are absolutely incredible, and they are ready to step in at a moment's notice. Then we do have our ensemble made up of female and
they're so
male
great,
dancers,
too.
and they're just beautiful. It's really fun. There's one number, Here Comes Santa Claus, where we're dancing with the ensemble.
Yeah, I
so
love
it's
that.
everyone. It's Rockettes, it's ensemble.
Yeah.
We're dressed up as Santa Clauses. So that's a fun number to be able to dance on stage with the whole cast
Yeah.
at that moment. And then we have Santa, Mrs. Claus, children in the show as well, drones,
Yeah.
All the
100 of them on
singers.
stage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very
takes a
large
village.
cast, and we have an amazing crew backstage. Our crew that they're moving the set pieces and everything, and we have costumers as well. So there's just as much going on backstage as there is on stage.
Do the animals smell backstage?
I mean, they are live
They're in their
animals.
own.
They're live
animals. They do animal things.
Yeah, I mean,
Do people walk them down like the 50th? Do they get walked down
yeah,
the street?
oh, they're so taken. They're taken care of so
Yeah.
well. You know, we have one camel. His name is Ted.
Ted, I
He's
love
been in the
Ted.
show for over 20 years. He's
yes.
kind of
Oh.
a star.
He is the star. He knows it too. He smiles. I'm
He
like,
does.
Ted, you know you. You know. You know you own it.
And that number is the Living Nativity, and that's been in the show since 1933,
Yeah.
just like the Parade of the Wooden Soldiers. So I think it's one of those numbers that our audience members that come back year after year, they're so excited to see that. So
Yeah.
those particular numbers are really special.
That's
to
another
perform.
number where all of the ensemble and the Rockettes get to go together. We travel together to Bethlehem, so so that's nice.
Yeah.
I loved seeing all the video stuff on the actual theater
Absolutely.
in the
We
house.
have-
That
we
was
have
so
some
The
cool.
new projections.
Beautiful projections.
Yeah,
that
the
they-
design is amazing.
Yeah, and I really feel it takes Radio City, which is a huge theater, 6,000 seats, and it makes it an intimate experience for the audience. Whether you're sitting on the front row of the orchestra or the back row of the third mezz, it's a very
Immersive.
yes, thank you, experience, which is really special.
It's beautiful, and it's new this year. We have brand new projections, and I got the opportunity to watch the show the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know this happened and this happened," and it's so intricate and detailed. It's
Yes,
just beautiful.
it is.
Yeah,
I
it's
was-
amazing how they can make a 6,000 seat auditorium and theater become that intimate and immersive. It's really cool.
Absolutely. So, talk about your Rockettes. Obviously, the show runs November, December into January 1st. What is the rest of your year? Are you Rockettes all year? Or is it just like a seasonal
You
thing?
know, there are different opportunities. We've performed at like the VMAs. We've performed at America's Got Talent. We also have our summer intensive that a lot of us like to teach at. But we're doing all sorts of things. I'm a mom. I have 2 kids at
Yeah.
home. So that's my full-time job, really. And I also love to teach. And I'm going to go back to school and finish my accounting degree. So I think it's really cool that like all of the Rockettes, I mean, together we are just such a unified group, but they're all individuals too. So I mean, it just depends on the girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't live in New York. I live in
Oh, yeah, that's
Orlando
true.
during the year. So I
Okay.
come up for the
Cool.
holiday season, and then I go back home to Orlando. I teach Pilates down there, and I teach at a dance studio. So for me, this is the time of year where I get to come and I get to perform and do something that I love so much.
That's cool.
Which is so special.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really I'm sure it makes the holidays a whole different thing.
Absolutely.
And the audiences go crazy for this. I mean, like people like it's a thing. I mean, there's so many seats, and there's so many people in the seats every night. And when I walk, by Radio City, they're on the streets. It's nonstop because there's always a performance starting or ending.
Oh,
or
yeah.
it's like
They fill
it's-
those seats
It's
too.
kind of incredible how quickly we can move one audience in and,
a
from
well-oiled
one show to
machine.
the next.
For
Because
sure.
on Saturdays, we'll do up to 6 shows a day. That's a lot of people coming in and out of the theater,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Yeah, I think one thing that's really special about the audiences is we get to see the first few rows. We maybe can't see all the way back, to
Yeah.
the back of the theater, but we get to see the faces of the audience members. My favorite are seeing the little kids.
Oh my gosh,
They
yeah.
get so excited, and some of them will even stand up in the aisles and dance. They just can't even stay in their seats, and that's so inspiring to see that we're bringing so much joy to them, and they're having
There was a
such
little
good
girl
time.
doing a 12 days. Our tap number. We have a tap number called 12 days, and she was in the aisle just copying all the moves, and I'm like, oh, this is for you. It just it brings the magic back, It's true.
Do you feel when the Rockettes are all lined up and you're doing your kicks, counting down from what is it, 3,000? You're counting down.
Infinity.
It looks so empowering. I mean, what is it like actually being in those moments and being that unified force? And
I think I
Yeah.
cried the first time. I mean, really, in 2012, the first time we did a full kick line together, I think I teared up because there is something so you're only as strong as your weakest link, and there's no weak link in that line.
Yeah.
And I think it just is something empowering, just this line of really strong women, all individuals, but all coming together and just being so unified. Yeah,
It's so special.
It's really special and
think
iconic.
That's actually one of my favorite parts of the show. There's a number called New York at Christmas. These are the costumes we wear in it.
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek. We have red ones and we have green ones as well. And I stand, if you look at the stage, I'm one of the shorter girls. So
Right, because you
more
stand by
towards-
height. It's a line of height.
Exactly.
left to
Yeah,
right.
we put the
So you're
taller
more
girls in the
stage
middle,
right.
It's off the
and it
center and then
slowly cascades
tapers
down
out.
to the
Oh, right.
shorter girls
Right,
on the end.
right.
So we have some very
Illusion.
sharp head movements, and when I turn my head to the right, I just look down. It's just a sea of legs, and just knowing I'm on stage with all those women, and we're all coming together to make this happen. It's just that's such a special moment in the show.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the Rockettes. Hey,
you.
I know.
I love the Rockettes.
Hey, Caitlin.
Yes.
What are the people saying?
We got a lot of
Are
questions.
they asking about those photos?
Yes. Let's put that up
All about Brittany's photo.
Just want to know about that photo. Well, okay, so the first question is, you talked about this a little bit, but do you guys remember your first experience performing on stage at Radio City as a Rockette? And what was that like?
I mean, I will again, like I'll say about the kick line, I really do think, I mean, we do all of this intricate choreography, which is really awesome, and then all of a sudden we come together in that kick line, and that's probably the moment where it really just sinks in. You're like, wow, this is a living legend, and I get to be in this line. And I just remember my first kick line in the New York at Christmas number, and it is just it's an overwhelming emotion. It's really powerful.
Yeah, and I think for I'm sorry. I think for so many of us, like, we train so hard to get to this place. So
Yeah.
when you're finally there and you've reached your goal, and maybe for everyone it's their dream job. It absolutely was for me. So to be able to finally be there and then be part of this line and these women that I look up to so much. It's just, it's absolutely incredible. I remember my very first show performing as a Rockette. My mom was in the front row.
Oh,
so
so
being able,
sweet.
she was my dance teacher growing
my
up.
gosh.
So
My mom was
for her
mine
to-
too.
I love that. See, so it's so special to get to share that moment. And I have family and friends that come up to New York. They're at the whole run of the show. And, we do up to 4 shows a day for one
Yeah.
cast. And that can be sometimes a little tiring, but knowing there's someone special out in the audience, it just gives you that extra little bit of joy. It's really special.
And then after January 1st, do you just lay down for a week?
There's
We hibernate.
definitely some couch sitting, yes, and just resting.
And getting ready for next Christmas.
Exactly.
Put our legs on
What
ice.
else, Caitlin?
Yeah, another question actually is, how do you guys rest and recover, because you guys have so many shows and you do it all, so you don't have a day off. So what's that like?
Yeah, so we are lucky that we have one day off a week. We have 2 casts, so when we'll rotate through the shows. And then I think it's super important that we take care of our bodies.
Listen to our bodies, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of physical demand. So we have to eat well, absolutely hydrate well.
I'm
I
assuming
make
you get a good
sure-
workout just doing the show.
Yes, for
You know-
me, I don't really do extra workouts. I get to the theater 2 hours before our first show to
Wow.
do hair and makeup, because we do all of our own hair and makeup. And then I do a 30-minute warm-up. It's an active, dynamic warm-up. And then it's really important at the end of the shows to do a cool down as well. So you're just trying to take care of your muscles as much as possible. Yeah.
What about you?
Well, we also have a fabulous athletic training department, so I utilize them a lot. They give us a lot of tips and pointers on active recovery because we don't have so much time in between shows. So they help us out a lot, and an ice bath at the end of the day, to keep the swelling down for those kicks. I had kicks tomorrow, and things like that. But I like to just stretch out the hamstrings and cool down is really important.
Absolutely.
So I've noticed that throughout the years.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Alexandra wants to know, what has been your favorite costume to wear on stage as a Rockette?
Oh, well, hi, Alexandra.
Yeah.
I know, for me, I think it's the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yeah.
No,
Took my answer.
It's just such a beautiful costume. We're kind of dressed like candy canes and kind of wrapped up like a Christmas present. And that number in particular, we dance, our shoes have live mics in them. So the
Our
tap
shoes.
sounds, so the sounds that the audience is hearing, those are our sounds as well. We have beautiful headpiece and cuff and special earrings for them as well. I think that's,
I agree.
It's
That's
so
my
pretty.
That's my favorite one as well. Just a little sassy Christmas number. It's so fun. But I do love that our taps are actually live mics. People are so interested by that. So we really do rehearse so much our sounds and our shuffles and everything and the sounds that they make because it is actually live and we get a lot of notes on those sounds.
I love that. And we can do one last question. And Alec wants to know, what is your favorite dance number to do in the Christmas Spectacular?
My favorite dance number.
I can't get over that toy, those wooden soldiers.
The parade
I
of the wooden
love
soldiers.
the parade of the wooden soldiers.
I mean, when I was a kid, I was like, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, they're so amazing. And then watching it again, I was like, look how slow they're falling down.
No, it is
so
cool. It kind of looks like a cartoon almost when you look at the starch white pants, and it looks so cool.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to take your answer. You've never done
that is one of my favorites. That is one of my favorites, and it's almost. I mean, it is just it's a number of walking, but it's so hard. You have to be so focused, and you're guiding right to the the lady next to you and making sure you're in a line. I think it's almost harder than dancing because you can't like give yourself the notes as a dancer. But for me personally, I really love this number, the New York at Christmas number that we get to do. It starts out on, we're on a tour bus around New York City, and then we come off the tour bus, and we are just in these red and green dresses, and they're so luminous on stage. And it's a really difficult dance number, too, so that's also a little fulfilling. So I love that number.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my favorite number is our new finale number. We have beautiful costumes that were specifically designed for this new number by Emilio Sosa. There are over 3,000 Swarovski crystals
Broadway's
on our
Emilio
dresses.
Sosa, everyone.
And it's just it's a really high energy, beautiful number at the end.
Christmas lights.
Yeah, Christmas lights. And I think it's a really neat blend of tradition and innovation as well. And it's a great way to close out the show and send everyone out into the New York streets in the holiday spirit.
Are the drones behaving themselves? Are they all staying at the right height? I don't know, a lot of robots on stage.
I mean, it's my first interaction with a robot on the stage. But yeah, I mean, just like we rehearse, they are well rehearsed too, and they have their own tracks. And so, I mean, they're just as rehearsed as we are. So they've been behaving. Yeah.
Good, that was a word.
I love that. I love that.
Brittany Werthmann and Joanna Richardson, they are at Radio City Music Hall through January 1st. It is fantastic. Go see the Christmas Spectacular. We love the Rockettes. Please keep coming back. Thank you for wearing costumes. It's freezing out. So these ladies walked across town like this, and I love them for it.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for
And Merry
having us.
Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Come see us.
Hey, Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to us in a podcast version by searching for #live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. We talk to Nancy Opal of Wicked.